When Barack Obama's phone rang on that rainy Tuesday morning in Chicago, he never expected to hear the voice that once meant everything to him. Sophia Martinez, the girl who helped him with constitutional law, who believed in his political dreams when no one else did, who broke his heart under an oak tree 25 years ago. Now she was calling with tears in her voice, asking for something that would change everything. Her 16-year-old daughter Carmen was dying of cancer. The only treatment that could save her life cost $2 million. Money Sophia didn't have. Barack had served as president and built a multi-million-dollar empire. $2 million was manageable for him. But saying yes to Sophia meant opening doors he had sealed shut for decades. It meant facing the love he never got over, risking everything he had built to save a girl he had never met. What started as one desperate phone call would soon become the biggest controversy of Barack Obama's life. Reporters would dig into his past. His marriage would face scrutiny. The whole world would question his motives. But here's what no one knew: Barack Obama had been waiting for Sophia's call for 25 years, and the reason why would shock everyone, including Sophia herself. Barack Obama sat behind his massive oak desk in his Chicago office, staring at the raindrops racing down the tall windows. The city looked gray and cold on this Tuesday morning. He sipped his coffee and flipped through papers that his assistant had left for him to sign. At 63 years old, Barack was still one of the most respected political figures in the world. His name was on foundations, books, and speaking engagements. People still asked for his autograph everywhere he went. But some days like today, he felt tired of all the attention. His office was quiet except for the soft sound of rain. Pictures of his presidential days covered the walls. Awards and honors sat on shelves behind his desk. Everything reminded him of his amazing career, but lately those memories felt empty. A soft knock on his door broke the silence. "Come in," Barack called out. Mrs. Chun, his assistant, walked into the office. She had worked for Barack for 10 years, a small woman with kind eyes who rarely looked worried, but today her face was full of concern. "Mr. Obama," she said, holding a pink phone message slip in her hand. "There's a woman on the phone. She says her name is Sophia Martinez." Barack's coffee cup stopped halfway to his lips. The name hit him like a punch to the stomach. Sophia Martinez. He had not heard that name in 25 years, but it still made his heart beat faster. He set his coffee cup down with shaking hands. "Did she say what she wanted?" Mrs. Chen shook her head. "She just said she knew you in law school. She sounds upset." "Mr. Obama, she's been crying." Barack's mind raced back to 1983, Harvard Law School. A beautiful girl with dark hair and bright brown eyes. The girl who helped him with his constitutional law homework. The girl who believed in him before anyone else did. The girl whose heart he broke when he chose politics over love. "Mr. Obama, should I tell her you're in a meeting?" Mrs. Chen asked. Barack stared out the window at the rain. 25 years. What could Sophia want after all this time? Why was she crying? Was she in trouble? Was she hurt? "No," he said quietly. "Put her through." Mrs. Chen nodded and left the office. Barack's phone rang a few seconds later. He stared at it for 3 rings before picking it up. "Hello, Sophia." "Hello, Barack." Her voice was older now, but he knew it right away. It was the same voice that used to whisper good luck before every debate, the same voice that used to laugh at his jokes, the same voice that said goodbye under an oak tree 30 years ago. "It's been a long time," Barack said. 25 years, Sophia replied. He could hear that she was trying not to cry. "How did you get my number?" "I'm a doctor now. I have connections." She paused. "Barack, I know this is strange. I know I have no right to call you after all these years, but I need your help." Barack's chest felt tight. "What's wrong?" "It's my daughter Carmen. She's 16. Sophia's voice broke. "She's dying, Barack. She has cancer, and the doctors say there's only one treatment that might save her. But it's experimental. It costs $2 million. I don't have that kind of money." Barack closed his eyes. A 16-year-old girl was dying. Sophia's daughter, the woman he once loved more than anything in the world, was watching her child fade away. "I'm sorry, Sophia. That's terrible. I've tried everything," Sophia continued. "I've sold my house. I've borrowed money from everyone I know. I've begged the insurance company. Nothing works. This treatment is Carmen's only chance, but I can't afford it." Barack's hands were shaking now. "Why are you calling me?" There was a long silence. Then Sophia said the words that would change everything. "Because you're the only person I know who has that kind of money. And because," her voice got very quiet, Because you're the only person who ever promised to help me if I needed it. Barack's memory flashed back to a night in 1983. He was 22 years old, holding Sophia's hand under their favorite oak tree. If you ever need anything, he had told her, anything at all, just call me, I'll always be there for you. He had meant it then, but that was before his political career, before the presidency, before fame changed everything. Barack, are you still there? Sophia asked. I'm here, he whispered. I know I hurt you when we broke up. I know you probably hate me, but Carmen is innocent. She's beautiful and smart and funny. She wants to be a writer someday. She doesn't deserve to die because her mother can't afford to save her. Barack stared out his window at the gray Chicago sky. Somewhere out there, a 16-year-old girl was fighting for her life. Sophia's daughter, the child of the only woman he had ever truly loved. Where are you? He asked. Los Angeles. I'll call you back in an hour, Barack said. Barack, thank you for even listening. 1 hour, Sophia. He hung up the phone and sat back in his chair. Outside, the rain kept falling. Inside his office, surrounded by all his awards and honors, Barack Obama felt something he hadn't felt in years. He felt like that scared 22-year-old law student again, the one who had promised a girl named Sofia Martinez that he would always be there for her. Now, 25 years later, she was asking him to keep that promise. Barack stared at his phone for a long time after hanging up with Sophia. The rain outside his window seemed to wash away the present, taking him back to a time when everything was different. Harvard Law School, 1983. 21-year-old Barack Obama walked through the halls of Harvard Law School with his head down. His sneakers squeaked on the polished floor. Other students laughed and talked around him, but Barack felt invisible. He was tall and lanky, all arms and legs that didn't seem to fit together right. His clothes were modest because his family didn't have much money. The worst part was that he was struggling with constitutional law. Professor Weinstein's class was brutal, and Barack felt like he was drowning in legal precedents and Supreme Court cases that seemed impossible to understand. That Tuesday afternoon, Barack sat in the law library trying to do his constitutional law homework. Cases swam in front of his eyes. He couldn't concentrate. Every precedent looked impossible. This is impossible, he muttered, pushing his books away. What's impossible? A voice asked. Barack looked up to see a girl sliding into the seat across from him. She had long dark hair and the prettiest brown eyes he had ever seen. He recognized her from his constitutional law class, but they had never talked before. Constitutional law, Barack said. I can't figure any of this out. The girl smiled. I'm Sofia Martinez, and constitutional law isn't impossible. It's just like solving puzzles. I'm Barack Obama, and I hate puzzles. Sophia laughed. It was a sound like music. My dad owns Martinez Family Restaurant downtown. He came to America from Mexico with nothing. He couldn't speak English, but he told me something important. What's that? He said the biggest victories come after the hardest fights. When something seems impossible, that's when you're closest to breaking through. Barack looked at this girl who was being so kind to a stranger. Why are you helping me? Because everyone deserves help sometimes, and because you look like you're about to give up. For the next hour, Sophia patiently explained each constitutional case. She didn't make Barack feel stupid when he didn't understand. She just found different ways to explain things until they made sense. You're really smart, Barack said as they packed up their books. So are you. You just needed someone to believe in you. Barack walked Sophia home that day. Her family's restaurant was in a small building with bright yellow walls. The smell of fresh tortillas and spices filled the air. This is where I work after school, Sophia said. My parents need the help. What do you want to be when you grow up? Barack asked. Sophia's eyes lit up. A doctor. I want to help sick children get better. My little cousin died from cancer when I was 10. I promised myself I'd find a way to save kids like him. Barack felt something stir in his chest. Here was someone who had real dreams, important dreams. His own dream of entering politics seemed small compared to saving lives. What about you? Sophia asked. What do you want to do? I want to be in politics, Barack said quietly. Maybe run for office someday, but sometimes I think I'm not smart enough. Sophia stopped walking and looked at him seriously. Do you want to help people? More than anything. Then don't give up. My dad always says that dreams don't have expiration dates. Sometimes they just take longer than we think. They reached Sophia's house, a small white home with a garden full of flowers. Her mother waved from the kitchen window. I have to go help with dinner, Sophia said. But Barack, tomorrow meet me in the library again. We'll work on more constitutional law, and maybe you can tell me about your political dreams. Barack walked home that day feeling different. For the first time in weeks, he didn't feel alone. Someone believed in him. Someone thought he was worth helping. The next day, Barack aced his constitutional law quiz. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. After class, he ran to the library to find Sophia. I got a B+, he announced, slightly out of breath. Sophia's face broke into a huge smile. I knew you would. See, sometimes we just need to take the first step. They studied together every day after that. Barack helped Sophia with political science and history. She helped him with constitutional law and economics. But more than that, they talked about everything. Barack learned that Sophia's parents worked 16-hour days to keep their restaurant open. Some people in Boston weren't always kind to the Mexican family, but Sophia never complained. She just worked harder. Sophia learned that Barack's family didn't have much money either. His mother worked multiple jobs to put him through Harvard. His father had left when he was young, but they supported Barack's dreams even when it seemed impossible. We understand each other, Sophia said one day as they sat in the library. Yeah, Barack agreed. We both know what it's like to want something bigger than where we came from. 3 weeks after they met, Barack walked Sophia home from the library like always, but this time, instead of saying goodbye at her front door, they stopped under an old oak tree in her front yard. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. Sophia looked beautiful in the soft light. Barack, she said quietly, I'm glad we're friends. Me too, he whispered, but I want to be more than friends. Sophia must have read his mind because she stepped closer to him. I've never had a boyfriend before, she said. I've never had a girlfriend, Barack replied. They looked at each other for a long moment, then very slowly, Barack leaned down and kissed her. It was soft and sweet and perfect. When they pulled apart, Sophia was smiling. Was that your first kiss? She asked. Yeah. Was it yours? Yeah. They both started laughing. It was the beginning of something beautiful, something that would change both of their lives forever. Under that oak tree, holding hands as the stars came out, Barack and Sophia made their first promises to each other. I'll always help you with constitutional law, Sophia said. And I'll always believe in your dreams, Barack replied. Neither of them knew that someday those promises would be tested in ways they couldn't imagine. Neither of them knew that love sometimes isn't enough to keep two people together. But in that moment, under the oak tree, with their whole lives ahead of them, they believed that anything was possible. Back in his Chicago office 25 years later, Barack wiped tears from his eyes. The memory was so clear it felt like yesterday. He could still smell the flowers in Sophia's mother's garden. He could still feel the softness of that first kiss. Now Sophia was asking him to keep a promise he had made long ago, a promise to always be there for her. Barack picked up his phone and dialed a number he knew by heart. Hello, his assistant answered. Mrs. Chun, I need you to book me a flight to Los Angeles today. Barack hung up the phone and leaned back in his chair. The flight to Los Angeles wouldn't leave for 6 hours. That gave him time to remember more, time to think about what Sophia had meant to him back then. Their love had grown through small perfect moments and difficult challenges, but as Barack's political ambitions grew stronger and law school became more demanding, the pressure began to tear them apart. The breaking point came during their final year at Harvard. Barack had been selected as the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review, a position that opened doors to incredible opportunities. Law firms across the country wanted to hire him. Political mentors encouraged him to consider running for office. But with all the attention came pressure. Lots of pressure. You need to focus only on your career now, his mentor told him. No distractions, no relationships taking up your time. Sophia understood at first. She always understood. I'm so proud of you, she said after the law review announcement. You're going to change the world. We both are, Barack said. You got into medical school, remember? That's amazing. Sophia smiled, but something in her eyes looked sad. Medical school is in California, Barack, really far from wherever your political career takes you. We'll figure it out, Barack said quickly. Love finds a way, right? But as the months went by, Barack found less and less time for Sophia. He missed their study dates because of law review obligations. He was late to meet her because political mentors wanted to talk after events. He forgot to call her some nights because he was too exhausted. The final fight happened in May, 2 weeks before graduation. Sophia had gotten a full scholarship to medical school in California. Her parents were so proud they cried. Her dream of becoming a doctor was coming true. But California was 3,000 miles away from Barack's political future on the East Coast. "We can make it work," Barack said when Sophia told him about medical school. "We'll visit each other. We'll call every day." "Barack, be realistic," Sophia said. "You're going to be busy building your political career. I'm going to be buried in medical classes. When will we see each other?" "We'll find time." "Will we? You can't find time for me now, and we live in the same city." That hurt because it was true. "What are you saying?" Barack asked. "I'm saying maybe we should face reality. We're going in different directions. Maybe it's time to admit that." "So you want to break up?" Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to, but I think we have to. We both have dreams, Barack, big dreams. If we try to hold on to each other, we might end up holding each other back." They met under their oak tree one last time the night before Barack left for his new job in Chicago. The same tree where they had shared their first kiss. The same tree where they had made all their promises. "I love you," Barack said, holding her hands. "I'll always love you." "I love you too," Sophia whispered. "That's why this is so hard. We don't have to do this. We can try long distance." Sophia shook her head. "We both know it won't work. You're going to become famous, Barack. You're going to change the world and meet amazing people. You don't need a girlfriend back home holding you down. You never held me down. You lifted me up. And you lifted me up too. You taught me to dream big. Now we both have to follow those dreams, even if it means following them apart." They held each other under the oak tree as the stars came out, both of them crying, both of them knowing this was goodbye. "Promise me something," Sophia said. "Anything. Promise me you'll become everything you're meant to be. Promise me you'll be great. Promise me you'll save lives," Barack replied. "Promise me you'll help those sick kids, just like you always wanted." "I promise." They kissed one last time. It was soft and sweet and heartbreaking. Barack left for Chicago the next morning without saying goodbye. He couldn't bear to see Sophia cry again. Sophia left for California a week later. She didn't call Barack to tell him she was leaving. Both of them thought they were doing the right thing. Both of them thought that love meant letting go. Neither of them knew that some choices, even the right choices, leave scars that never fully heal. On the plane to Los Angeles 25 years later, Barack touched his chest where his heart was. The scar was still there. It had never really gone away. Tomorrow he would see Sophia again. He would meet her daughter. He would try to save a life. But first, he had to figure out if his heart was strong enough to handle seeing the woman he never stopped loving, even after all these years, even after the choice that broke both their hearts. Barack's plane landed in Los Angeles at midnight. As he walked through the empty airport, he thought about all the years that had passed since he last saw Sophia. 25 years of separate lives, 25 years of success that came with a price. His rise to political prominence had happened steadily. He served in the Illinois State Senate, then the U.S. Senate, and finally became the 44th President of the United States. The whole country watched as he made history, becoming the first African American president. Barack tried to call Sophia the night he won the presidency, to share the moment with her, but he realized he didn't have her number anymore. Maybe it was better this way. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, Sophia was becoming Dr. Martinez. Medical school was brutal. She studied 18 hours a day, lived on coffee and determination. Her professors said she was one of the brightest students they had ever taught. "You have a gift for understanding sick children," her pediatrics professor told her. "You should specialize in oncology. Kids with cancer need doctors who truly care." Sophia thought about her little cousin who had died when she was 10. She thought about the promise she had made to save children like him. "That's exactly what I want to do," she said. In 2009, Barack Obama was inaugurated as President of the United States. He stood on the steps of the Capitol and promised to bring hope and change to America. That same year, Dr. Sophia Martinez completed her residency and became one of the leading pediatric oncologists in the country. Barack's presidency was marked by significant achievements, but also by personal loneliness. He married Michelle, a brilliant lawyer, and they had 2 daughters together. It was a good marriage built on mutual respect and shared values. But late at night, Barack sometimes found himself thinking about Sophia. wondering what had become of her dreams. Sophia married Dr. David Chen, a kind heart surgeon she met at a medical conference. They had one daughter together in 1998, whom they named Carmen after Sophia's grandmother. When Carmen was born, Sophia held her tiny daughter and made a silent promise: "I will love you more than anything in this world. I will protect you and support your dreams, whatever they are." The years passed quickly. Barack served 2 terms as president and left office with high approval ratings. Sophia saved hundreds of children's lives, developing new treatments and becoming internationally recognized for her work. Carmen grew into a brilliant teenager who loved to write stories. She was smart like her mother and kind like her stepfather David. She dreamed of becoming a journalist who would tell important stories about people making a difference. But in 2005, when Carmen turned 16, everything changed. She started feeling tired all the time, bruising easily, and losing weight. The blood tests confirmed Sophia's worst nightmare. Carmen had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, a rare aggressive form that didn't respond well to standard treatments. "How long?" Sophia asked the oncologist. "With standard treatment, maybe 6 months. There's an experimental treatment in Chicago, but it's not approved yet, and it costs $2 million. That night, Sophia sat by Carmen's bedside and watched her daughter sleep. She thought about all the children she had saved over the years. Now her own daughter needed saving, and she didn't know how to do it. She thought about Barack Obama, probably somewhere in Chicago, living his successful post-presidential life. She wondered if he ever thought about her. She wondered if he would remember the promises they had made under an oak tree in Massachusetts. Most of all, she wondered if she had the courage to call him after 25 years and ask for help. Outside Carmen's hospital room, Sophia made the hardest decision of her life. She was going to call the boy who had once promised to always be there for her, even if it meant opening old wounds that had never fully healed, even if it meant admitting that some love never really dies, no matter how much time passes or how far apart 2 people grow. Carmen needed to live, and Barack Obama was the only person Sophia knew who could make that happen. Barack's taxi pulled up to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The morning sun was bright, but he felt cold inside. Somewhere in this building, Sophia was waiting for him. Somewhere in this building, a 16-year-old girl was fighting for her life. 25 years after saying goodbye under an oak tree, Barack Obama was about to keep the most important promise he had ever made.